Good morning. All right, I think everybody's almost awake. Happy Saturday. Welcome to our groundbreaking event for Gloria Park, also called Parque La Gloria. This is the interactive part. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We do have some dignitaries I need to recognize today for all of their help and their support to the community. First up, I do have our state representative, Kranda Temish, who is here, up from Austin. Kranda, thank you so much for being here and not down there. I need to also thank my city council. We have our Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Brandon Jones. We have our Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. William Meredith. Councilmember Bob Troyer. And Councilmember Ronnie Cade. I have Jim Proch, our Assistant City Manager, and I'm always messing up Jim's last name, so my apologies. Jim, where are you? He may be in the parking lot area. Okay, so but our ACM, our city manager Claire Powell is taking a well-deserved vacation this week, so we also want to thank her. And then over here to my right, this ball of energy, it's like standing next to a sun, Miss Stacy Anaya, our Parks and Recreation Director. I have, I think, Chris McGinn, our Neighborhood Inspection Services Director. I'm not sure if he could be here, but he was an important part of this process. Mr. James Kunke, our Community Relations and Tourism Director. And we do have some folks from the Parks Board here, which without them, you know, it's great to talk about being city council and doing the mayor thing, but without our boards and our commissions, we would not be able to do what we do as city council. So I want to thank our Parks Board, specifically Mr. Mike Pope, Sherry Brennan, Angela Wallen, and Julia Sykes, who are all here today. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for doing the heavy lift. And then, of course, we've got a few folks from our Lewisville Park Alliance, and I'm not going to go through that, but it's important that you all know what we have been able to do this past year is we are spinning off a non-for-profit that can help fund our parks and our neighborhoods like this. So we're really excited about that opportunity because it's going to bring some really big opportunities, donations, corporate sponsorships, those types of things to the city that we would not be able to access before. So I want to thank those folks who have been standing up to get that all done. So with that, I just want to give you a little bit of history about what it takes to build something like this, because parks kind of historically have just been kind of part of initiative. You just kind of, we're building a neighborhood and there kind of needs to be a park here, right? And it's just kind of, I'm sorry, not initiative, more like inertia. They just kind of happen. They're not, historically haven't been super planned. And so when you're trying to come back into a municipality and say, hey, we've got this area that doesn't have the same things that other areas have, how do we fix that? It's something, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time, and a lot of focus, a lot of attention. So this really started from you, Lewisville residents. Back in the early 20s, we started working on our 2025 plan, or sorry, like 2015, sorry. I'm getting old, the math just doesn't keep working. But we started working on our 2025 plan. And for those of you who follow the 2025 plan, there's some huge components to this that this was not city staff generated. This was not generated by corporations. This was not generated by city council and elected folks. This was generated by you, the neighbors, the community, who said, we love Lewisville, and to make it better and where it will be in 2025 on its centenary, we want more green space. And so we created the green centerpiece concept, where we of course have Lila, but how do we take Lila and that nature environmental center that we have out there, and how do we pull it into the neighborhoods? How do we create those opportunities for folks that maybe they can't get over to Lila, maybe they don't like to go camping, but they can find out a little bit more and they can enjoy this space? Extending the green, you know, pulling all of that in, making our parks more interactive, making our green spaces more related to the Texas landscape. For those of you who don't know, Lewisville was written up this month in Texas Monthly for our greenscape and our native planting programs and projects, and that's all because of the residents like you. This also ties into creating thriving neighborhoods, places where people want to live, and being able to be more sustainable, using a lot less water, and being able to make sure that things that live here and are native here stay here, because they're the things that can survive the freeze. Because I don't know about you, but when I drive around, there's still dead plants from Snowmageddon. And they aren't natives. That's why they're dead. So it's all my natives came back beautifully. But it's important to know that these things, these plans in Lewisville, they're real. They become this. So when you see a plan happen in a municipality, a lot of folks just kind of blink and go, yeah, that's going to sit on the shelf. Not here. Not in our town. Now, because of that program, that 2025, that visioning that we put together as a community, we were able to then earn a grant. It was a $40,000 grant in 2018 from the 10-minute walk to a park grant. And so what that did is it allows us to do a complete mapping of the city and find out who lives within 10 minutes of green space. And if you don't, how do we fix it? And so that 40 grand helped us. We were one of only 12 cities to get that, by the way. That allowed us to find out, hey, roughly 61% of our residents live within 10 minutes of a park or green space. That number today is, I think, 67%. And it's continuing to grow, and we're going to keep mapping that out. And this, of course, is going to be a big part of that, this park here today. So it's important that we keep having those measurables, right? Because if it's not measurable, you're not going to get it done. So that was in 18. Because we got that mapping and got to look at the city in 18, then in 2019, we actually had the Urban Land Institute able to come to us. This was a national visit. They don't do these very often, folks. They had a complete team that went through, talked to neighborhoods, talked to neighbors, talked to staff, talked to council. These are experts in the field of green spaces and development, and they found opportunities for us to make our city better. Here's a corner that you could use. Here's a pocket that you can develop. Here's how you make things better. And the nice thing is they see the whole country, and it's not like we're trying to be somebody else, but they know folks and they've seen folks that have the same challenges we have, and they were able to take those best practices, and we were able to use that to implement this program. And so what came from that was our Movement on the Parkways program. And so our Play Lewisville on Wheels is kind of an evolution of the mobile city hall that really didn't take off, but this has taken off because it integrates with residents and their needs to play, their need to build community. And so this allows us to be out in the community to drive that communication, to help folks have a good time in their neighborhood, but also be connected to their city. And this, again, is continuing to grow and develop. And I love our plow team. Thank you guys so much. You are an integral part of our communities. And that's what drove this park. I don't know if you've been out here. For some of you, I've seen some faces, but the community engagement on this program and planning this has been amazing. And if you go into the new Parks Department offices, you'll see in their conference room, there's some vibrant green butcher paper that was one of the first meetings out here where kids and neighbors were drawing what they wanted to see. Now, I'm not seeing sparkly unicorns yet, but there you can absolutely see what these children, these families, they wanted to see in their neighborhood park. Not something from on high bequeathed to them, but something that they asked for, that they developed, and that input is becoming what you see here today. This is how government works. This is how your community works. This is how it's supposed to be done. And I am so proud of everyone who's touched this, every neighbor that's been out, and all those neighbors who are yet to come who are going to get to experience this, because it is an amazing, amazing thing that we are doing for the community here today. With that, I do want to hand this over to our community member here, Ms. Carmen Rios, who has been highly involved in this entire process, and I'm so thankful for your input, and I'm so proud that you're here today. Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. When I was asked to be a part of this community, this whole event over a year and a half ago, I said yes. I'm Carmen Rios. I'm the community manager right here at Arbor Creek Apartments with Vidalta Management. And I've been a part of, like he just said, from the very beginning, hosting the meetings to asking our residents what they wanted to see in these parks. Not only our residents, the entire community. We've been a part since the very beginning. This is going to be a very, very, very great thing for our community, not only for the residents here at Arbor Creek, but the surrounding communities that we have around us. Not just for the residents in the apartments, but the ones that are still in the homes down the street. And not only just for the kids, the children, but for the adults that work from home. This will be within walking distance from their communities to take a break, to get away from that computer for just a moment, take a walk, get out. Our residents are very, very familiar with the plow team. They are very great with the children. They come out during the summer. They assist with the summer food programs, with them being involved and engaged, not only outside, but inside. They make it to where even if it's a bad rainy day, they have the resources to make it for the children, to make it a great time for them. I'm very grateful and very proud to be a part of this team, and we cannot wait to see the community out here and engage. We cannot wait to see the residents walking across the street within walking distance to this new park. We are very excited and can't wait for it to be here. Thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of the community. Passing it over to Stacy.
All right. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you for helping us get this here, to get to this day, to connecting us with your residents. Sometimes it's not always intuitive for how we need to get buy-in and gain trust for residents, and you've helped us with that. And this really has been a multifaceted approach to building a park. But it's not just about building a park, right? It's about, oh man, here I go again. All right, I know it. It's about building community, right? It's about building a great place to live and creating common space where all these things that typically divide us fall apart. Because you know what? Everybody laughs the same. Everybody gets winded the same. Everybody experiences joy the same way. And these are places that create that commonality, that common thread to make us a great place to live and be. And so, you know, we thank City Council, we thank the City Manager's Office, we thank our Parks Board and the Parks Alliance, and we need to reach out and thank some other partners of ours with the Next Step Center, who helped us gain that trust and in with the community, that helps us come out and run some of our plow events and helps bring food to residents who don't always have them. We need to say thank you to Michelle Berry with our planning team who's here, who helped us write the grant for the 10-minute walk to a park, and this is part of her vision too. And then, you know, it's one thing, we can have a vision, we can say we want to do something, but we got to have someone who can hear what we're all saying and put it on paper to give people direction on how to get it there. And Ignacio and Iran from Kimley Horn have been on from the beginning. They've been out here at every movement on the parkway listening to residents, and they took our words and our feelings, and we said this is how we want to feel when we're in this common space, and they've put it on paper, and we think it's a great thing. So thank you, Ignacio and Huron, for being out here. We appreciate that. And then this is really a tapestry of funding to get here. We have CDBG funds, so Chris McGinn and his team from Neighborhood Services making sure that we got this piece of property. We have a grant from Game Time Playgrounds to be here. We have a 100% matching grant from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department that's funded by your sales tax dollars, right? $750,000 dropped here because people who are buying bats and balls, they pay a few pennies extra, and places like this come to fruition because of it. We have our 4B money, so that's other sales tax in the community. And we also have our park development money. So when new people move into town, developers are responsible for creating that green space. And if they haven't done it to this point, we bring the money here and we do that. It really is a tapestry. It's a quilt work, like every community is, right? Sometimes you see that one thread, but this is multiple threads making it happen. And the cool thing is we got another grant from One Tree Planted to put trees here that are native, that will survive the ups and downs of the Texas weather. And we've also got a great partner who's well known in the DFW Metroplex. 308 Construction is going to build this place for y'all. And you'll see them out here starting next week, starting the little bits and pieces of getting out here, getting this place transformed into your park, and we're excited about that. But of course, it's going to take us making sure, one, that our vision gets in the ground, right? And one of the major parts of that for us as a Parks Department is Randy Simon. He's our CIP manager, and he'll be out here a lot. Randy, raise your hand so they don't think you're a stranger and try to take anything when you're walking around over here. But he's going to be the one that helps make sure that by the end of the year that y'all see your park, and that early next year we're back right here having a ribbon cutting and celebrating and experiencing some of that joy and laughter together. And then of course our park ops team, they're going to be responsible for taking care of the place, and they are unsung heroes in the Parks and Recreation Department. They make sure things are ready when we arrive and it looks good after we leave. Because as the mayor pointed out, sometimes I come through and it's like a ball of fire and tornado, and they got to make sure it's back together, right? So, and then the other partners, we got to thank the Lewisville Police Department and our fire departments for making sure that we're safe, and that you recognize that these guys are here to keep you safe, to keep us healthy, and that they're partners in the everyday world of play, not just when there's a disaster, right? So thank you all for being here. Thanks to all the Parks and Recreation team members. If you're a Parks and Recreation team member, throw up your hand. Plow, Erica, Marcus, Chris, Park Ops, thank you very much. We appreciate everything that you do. So how about we get this thing started so that we can get building this park for this community. I'm going to ask the city council members to come up first for the initial dig, and then we'll roll with 308. Or if someone from 308 and Kimley Horn could come up and stand by us, I'd appreciate that too. 1, 2.
Right? I think we've been voluntold. All right, everybody, lean forward like you're digging. Look at that camera. All right, everybody take one little dig, and on 3 we're going to toss a little bit of dirt to the front. Don't hit the cameraman. 1, 2, 3.